Hey guys, Tim here, and welcome to a very special bonus episode of the Civil Gore Podcast. As you guys know, Brian and I took the week off, but that doesn't mean we didn't have some cool new content for you. Today we have part 3 of our interview with Lauren Marie Taylor. Now, a word of explanation, this was not originally meant to be part of our interview. It was something we recorded kind of after we had finished the interview and we're just kind of chatting. And Lauren Marie started telling some really cool ghost stories. So I'm glad we actually had that audio. So we decided to save that and maybe use it sometime down the road. And that time is now. So consider this kind of a deleted scenes or maybe some lost footage or whatever from the interview that you're just getting to hear is kind of a bonus. So it's a little bit raw, but that's okay because I think you guys will really enjoy it. And tomorrow we have our July Dismemberment to run down all the great Blu-ray releases that are coming out in July, and it's a pretty big month, so you guys will definitely want to stay tuned for that. So without further ado, our Part 3 interview with Lauren Marie Taylor.
No, here's the thing. We actually live near an old Civil War, not Civil War, no. We live near the Revolutionary War battlegrounds, okay? And there are some burial sites that are a stone's throw from our house. And every night at 11:11, a ghost goes by and you see it.
That's
and
awesome.
He sees it because she
No,
sees
Bahar
ghosts.
saw it.
Okay.
We had an exchange student here from Turkey,
think
and I
Bahar
told her
thinks she saw it.
she saw it.
Okay.
Bahar saw it. See, I've had my daughter here, and she's arguing with me. Okay, but actually, it does go by, and it's really creepy. Listen, I told you I lived across the street from a cemetery. There was one time where the windows to the bathroom, which was right next to the room that I shared with my brother, the windows to the bathroom opened up and the door flew open and I shot up in bed, kid you not, and I looked over and I saw a woman dressed in white and you could kind of see through her a little bit, but not completely. And the wind was blowing through what she was wearing and she was holding a baby in her arms. And she just looked at me and then her hair just started to turn grayer than it was, and she just moved out. And I remember just taking the covers, pulling them over my head, and just going, ah!
Oh, look, good. Anna got to see it.
Bed, and he's going, hey, shut up, I'm sleeping over here. I'm like, did you see it? Did you see it? Did you see it? He goes, I'm sleeping, shut up. You know, but I saw it, and I know I saw it, and I see this one that comes here at 11:11 every night. It's, again, that translucent, whitish figure. And it always, and I'm looking at the window right now, it always goes past the same window as if it's traveling to its burial site.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God, now we road trip,
That's
Tim.
awesome.
We're taking a road trip. That's it. We need to see this thing.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy.
That's awesome.
I would love to get a ghost hunters thing in here. It
I've
would-
been hearing this story since I was 7 years old. And I used to have slumber parties and it used to freak my friends out. I would laugh because I've been hearing but they're like,
So-
you can't sleep now. I'm like, thanks, Ma. And she'd be like, bye. And like, go downstairs.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
I still
Yeah.
really, okay, here's another one. Okay, this is New York. So, you know, there's lots of stuff that happened here because it was the Revolutionary Road, you know? This is where they were marching around and having battles and everything like that. When I went up to Utica with my grandmother to go to one of her sister's funerals, she had like 6 sisters. I was in the living room, sleeping on the couch. My grandmother was in her sister's bedroom. Her sister's name who died was Gladys. Again, the double doors open up and the wind starts blowing and I knew what was happening. I was like, I've seen this before in the Bronx. I covered myself with the covers again, freezing. And I heard my grandmother in the bedroom go, Gladys, what are you doing here? You're dead.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
I'm not kidding. These things happen. This is why I got creeped out filming this movie, because I have all these ghost experiences in my young life. And then here I am doing this horror movie in the middle of nowhere, not in New York City where I felt safe, but I'm in the country where it's dark and there are sounds everywhere that I've never heard before, like crickets and frogs and things like that. I mean, you just cannot take a girl out of the city.
I was going to say most people feel the opposite. They're afraid in New York City. They want to move to the country.
So I'm telling you. I mean, I've got great watchdogs. I mean, if anybody comes into this house, one of them will take your face off, and I kid you not. But I'm telling you, I'm walking them at night, and I'm all creeped out because of the cemetery not too far away from here, too, the burial grounds. If I hear any sound, the hair on the back of my neck goes up, and that whole muffled scream comes out like, I don't do a piggy scream. I do a total freak out scream when I walk dogs at night and hear something. It's probably just a chipmunk.
Oh, you got to do like an Instagram. You should do an Instagram video of that now. Next time you go out, just like hold it out and see if you can spot anything.
I know. I should like in Silence of the Lambs, where James Gunn has the night vision things on. I should wear the night vision things when I go outside with the dogs.
Oh yes. Well, when you keep saying that the glass doors open up, I'm thinking like, did you ever see Salem's Lot? That movie?
Yeah.
Well, there was the part where like the vampire would come visit, and he just would float up to the window, and like it was like those two glass doors, and he would just kind of like tap on the window. As a kid, that was probably and it's still to this day probably one of the things that still like scare me. And then not much scares me in a movie anymore, but that still does. And that actually, it's funny because after I had seen that, you know, I was young when I saw that, when it was on TV, and I didn't think any, you know, whatever. But then I remember we stayed over. My mom had taken us over. We stayed over at either a relative's house, and the bedroom that they had put me in literally had those exact glass windows on it. I didn't sleep all night.
No, I've been freaked out too. I'd be with you there. Yeah.
It was kind of traumatizing. Oh my God, that's awesome. Anna, she's waving. Anna.
Hi, Anna.
Anna is into ghost hunting as well. I got her a EMF detector for Christmas. Really?
That is so
She went
cool.
ghost hunting on the battleship. We have a battleship in Wilmington that is supposedly haunted.
Wow, that is cool. She should come up here. If you guys ever do a road trip to New York, you've got to come up here, bring it with you, because we do have areas up here. Look, I'm pointing to where the burial grounds are. I know exactly where they are, and they're coming for me. But it'd be really cool to see if you can find something up here.
Oh, that'd be cool. Anna's all excited. I saw the grin in her face now. She's all... That's so cool. Yeah, they... There's, I remember, I don't know where it was. I was at, it was somewhere at I think it was my day camp though, when I was a kid, where there was a wooded area and there was an little Indian burial ground. Now, to this day, I still don't know if it was real, if it was set up by the camp or whatever. But I remember when they would walk us through on the nature walks, they would always say, don't touch that because, you know, it's sacred. And me being the bratty kid that I was, and one of my friends, we decided to touch that. There were like these like papers. I remember I still can picture this thing to the T, right? And so there was these papers in this little fence, little thing in this area where the tombstone was, and so we touched it, and the counselor yelled at us. He goes, stop it. He goes, well, I guess I can't really, or something like, I can't really yell at you too much because now you're cursed. And I was probably like 8 years old. I said, that's all I needed to hear. I went home and I was like terrified to the point of where my mom was ready to pull me out of the camp because I was so horrified. But yeah, I was a bratty kid, so I got myself into trouble. But
it's a New York thing.
It is, right? It must be.
Yeah. People say don't do that, and we turn around, we do it anyway. It's like,
of course, yeah. You know, we have to. And Tim, being the honorary pseudo New Yorker that he is now, he's gotta try that tactic now too.
Yeah, I'm learning. I gotta get back up there though. I gotta get some more practice in.
Yeah, you know, we were watching something on the Today Show, and they were talking about traveling and doing road trips. And apparently, I guess we're all going to have to wear diapers or something because all the restrooms are going to be closed on at all the rest stops. I mean,
Oh,
They
wow.
still said that? I thought they were going to open like at least on the Jersey Turnpike because that's like there's one every like 10 minutes. That'll be what are you going to do?
I don't know. Where depends. I don't
Well, I did see it's funny because I have a little OCD and I saw this thing that's called Suds to Go. It's like a water bottle that also holds soap and you can squirt it and it shoots out water like a little faucet and soap out of the other side. So you can basically wash your hands. Of course, it's been advertised, after with COVID-19 came out, they're like everything that's soap or cleaning they show. So that was it's been on my Facebook feed every single day. So I'm like, I gotta buy this though because this is something I should have anyway, just because of my little OCD. But I never thought of that though. That if you're gonna do road trips, but there's no bathrooms.
Yeah, I know. I guess it has to be like if you're going camping, you just kind of make believe you're camping and stop along the side of the road like a doggy, doing a doggy style.
I'm sure there's plenty of trees.
The bathroom doggy style along the side.
Because my wife and I, we love road trips. We're always, we've driven to, I think Tim's Way twice now, at least, the full 10 and a half hour drive. And we've driven to Tennessee. We've driven cross country twice. So, but, I'm sorry. No, once cross country. I drove on a T-tour once, but that was, but we went on a cross country and that was amazing. We drove back from California. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But there were bathrooms. So I don't know if I could do it without the bathroom.
No, I think Starbucks would be out because then you'd have to go to the bathroom all the time. It just, what do? Get one of those little kiddie porta potties and just squat down.
I could see that.
The potty training potties, we could use those for road trips.
But they have them because I saw like we were, I think it was what's that camping? The REI. I think I saw something like that they had in there. So
yeah.
But that's
one of those senior things that you put on a toilet bowl and you just get legs for it. Just go along the side.
Walk around.
Road.
Oh yeah, just plant it in the ground. But I meant to ask you if you have seen this thing. This is pretty cool. I think it's called oh my god, I think it's called On Pins and Needles. It's almost like an idea of if you mix an escape room and like a paintball, but what it is they at one point they actually had Jason as the main character. So you go with a group, and I think you get 25-minute sessions where you have to go. You're in a camp area, and he comes after you with like one of those those kind of like foam machetes like that, like the LARPers or something.
That would be so much fun.
That sounds awesome.
I know. So I want to do that, but I was going to say it'd be cool if you go too, because then you could help us survive, and then
so much fun to have like real people from the movie be like guest people for the campers who are going, and they would have no idea that we would be there, but all of a sudden we'd like show up. What would be great is if we showed up but dead. Like Bill Randolph would be
oh my god,
like Bill Randolph would be behind a door hanging, make believe hanging there with blood. Russell Todd would be upside down hanging from a tree with make-believe blood coming. That would be so much fun.
Oh my god. Okay, we should probably stop the recording because I don't want anyone to come steal this idea now. We need to market this,
We should market it. It's a plan.
Yes.
We have a lot of plans. We're making a lot of plans. Let's
I know. This is good. But so anyway, thank you again so much. This has been like amazing that you literally spent like hours with us this week. Just so above and beyond.
No, it's been great. I've never done anything like this before. I mean, I've done Zoom calls with family, but I've never done a podcast before. I'm a podcast virgin. So thank you guys for like bringing me into the real world.
It's fun. I mean, it's like, and the fact that like when we started, we were like, we figured it would just be us, Tim and I talking back and forth, and that'd be it. And we'd talk about movies, and if someone listened, but then when we actually started to get guests on and stuff, we realized it was so fun, and so I was so glad when people are actually willing to because they're like who are those guys? It's like we're not like a big like there's Shockwaves, which is like a big horror podcast, But we're like so it means the world to us that you were so accommodating and willing to come on, and so it was awesome.
Listen, it's been great to be on. I've really enjoyed it. I'm going to be like, what am I going to do tomorrow night?
Well, just you know where to reach us. You could just touch base.
I know how to reach you guys. But no, really, thank you so much for inviting me. I just cannot stress enough how much fun it was and how much fun it is to relive these memories. I mean, I haven't talked about some of this stuff in years, especially the little things like the shenanigans that went on, and Steve Miner looking at me like I had 3 heads, and them changing the script because I can't swim. It was just, I'd forgotten about all those memories. So thank you for bringing them back out of the recesses of my brain.
Thank you for telling us all about them, and even the little secrets, which you're not supposed to tell us, but it was okay.
That's and also, just for bringing you a little bit closer to Kevin Bacon. If I could just
I mean, right there, that's worth it all. I saw that you liked our page on Facebook, so thank you.
I did, yeah, and I never go on Facebook, by the way.
Okay, because I was going to add you as a friend, but now if you don't,
no, you can add me as a friend.
Oh, okay.
But I rarely go on Facebook, but my daughter-in-law posts a lot, so I like to, respond and like her stuff. And once in a blue moon, a family member will say something, but my family knows that I don't go on it a whole lot. But since, we've all been sheltering in place, I've kind of been on it a little bit more, especially with doing the reunions with the soap opera and with others.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, and they're all on Facebook. So I kind of got, wrangled in a little bit to do it. Like, whoop, bring her in.
Well, yeah, that's that. Yeah, I'm like, I mean, we try and I used to be way bigger in social media, but now it's just I pretty much do mostly for the podcast kind of stuff, because it's like I mean, trying to keep up with it is a thing in itself. So it's like to try and do my own stuff, like on top of it, forget it. So I stick to the podcast ones mostly, but I'm on there. So I'll Tim and I are on there. So we'll send you, I'll send a way to friend you on there. And then, so I was gonna say, yeah, too. And if you and the family are ever up on Long Island, definitely let us know. Cause we're
where on the island are you again?
All right. Get this. And I'm not joking, Amityville.
Oh, no. Okay. One of the scariest books I ever read when I was a teenager was The Amityville Horror. And in that book, they say if you smell like feces or something, that means that there's a ghost nearby, or your room is haunted, or your house is haunted. I swear, that's all I smelled for about a month after I read that book. That scared the crap out of me, that book.
I'm glad I didn't know that, because I grew up with 2 brothers, and that's pretty much what you just smelled in the house, period. So if I knew that, I'd probably be a little freaked out.
Yeah.
Back.
I'm not.
You came on just that we were signing off, but I had told her, Lauren, that I lived in Amityville. So.
Oh yeah.
I always forget, and it's so funny because people think, "Oh, did you move there for the podcast?" It just happened to be where we are, but we are literally like 8 minutes from the house,
right down the street from the Amityville house.
Wow.
Oh, I'm so jealous. I've always wanted to go and see that house.
Yeah.
Do people live in the house?
Oh yeah, and they actually there's a sign now where it's like it actually said I don't think they can enforce it, but it basically says town ordinance, no stopping. So because I'm sure everybody in there and their relatives want to come in there and take pictures in front of it. So we took a picture of it, kind of like my wife was kind of driving really slow by, and I just kind of reached down with a click. I mean, you could tell it definitely looks different from the old pictures, and obviously it was the movie one was a different one, but you could tell that it's it. There's no mistaking it. You can tell.
That was a really creepy book, creepy movie. I swear, when we started looking for houses, when we were leaving the city, when we were moving out of the city, if the realtor showed us a house that looked anything like the Amityville Horror House, I was like, no, I'm not going in there. No. I don't want my husband to kill me and the kids. No, not happening.
Well, and
they all look like that up here. Yeah, they all have those eyeballs on the side. That look looking at you.
Yeah, and I guess supposedly the bar that he went into after, it's not a bar anymore, but it's the strip area where it was. It's like a fish market. Everything that's still there. That stuff is still there. So and that is literally about 30 seconds from my apartment. So.
You tried to trap me.
So, and it was cool because it's like when my wife found it, I was like, she was like, yes, I found it, because we were looking to move out of my my grandmother's house, which that I know was haunted, but that's another story for another time. But we had she had found Amityville. I'm like, I said, well, I hope that works out, because that's really good cred for the podcast, regardless, if it was intentional or not,
Coming to you from Amityville.
It works though. A lot of people like it. People really don't believe me though. I think they think it's a joke, but it's true.
That's neat. Yeah. Well, my husband and I were actually from Minnesota, and so when we were first looking at moving, we didn't quite know where we wanted to land because he was going into real estate. So we were kind of torn between North Carolina and then possibly maybe going towards New York. When we were thinking about New York, I told him, I was like, we have to live in Amityville. If we're moving to New York, Amityville, because I need to be close to that house.
It's actually a great little town, but even crazier down. So Long Island has, I know where we're going. I've told Lauren, I'm like, all right, we're sorry we're keeping you. And now we're like adding another.
Yeah, sorry.
But no, but Long Island has its own like really big haunted history. But actually on the street we're off of, down the other opposite end from Amityville, is actually one of the most haunted areas, which if you look it up, you could see all the stories. It's Sweet Hollow Road and Mount Misery Road. And there are some really like creepy tales on that, including there's one, I saw it on the Travel Channel, about like one of the stories this is the one that always freaks me out. It's basically like they say if you go like late at night at some point and you'll be driving along the road and all of a sudden you'll get pulled over by a police officer, and he comes and he gets your license and he goes back to his car. If you look, he has no back of his head. So yeah, it's pretty creepy. You got to look that up. And there's also like ghost kids hanging from a thing. There's also one of those spots where supposedly if you turn your car off, your car will roll uphill and the lights will flash on and off. And so there's a lot of legends right there. And then plus the Lake Ronkonkoma one, which is a big one if you look at the Lady of the Lake ghost there. So that one's a good one.
Yeah, if I lived out there, I would be that friend that's like, after a couple drinks, like, hey, I have a really cool idea.
Well, I'll tell you, you guys come visit, now that, of course, any friend of Tim is a friend of mine. So you guys come visit, we'll take you there. We'll drop you off there, though. I'm not going through that area, but we'll definitely lead you the right way.
I'll do it.
I'll bring binoculars and watch from afar.
Yeah, it was funny, though, because
I'll walk there if I have to.
Because I was literally just telling Lauren, I said, well, if you and the family come by Long Island. And now she's probably like, nope. But
Lauren, I was telling Tim when we had that short break too, I was like, I'm going to tell Lauren, if she ever finds that sweater and decides that she's going to throw it out, send it to me.
I know.
I will have it.
When I go to conventions, which I don't go to that often, and well, I'm not going at all right now because they're all canceled. But I usually go maybe one a year or every other year or so. A lot of people ask me about that sweatshirt.
Do they?
That sweatshirt. I'm like, but it was the ugliest thing in the world. I will look for it though. I will battle the attic.
Oh no! What are you doing to her?
You can do it.
We'll take video.
Yeah, I was gonna say, go take that dog that rips people's faces off. Go up there.
Yeah, oh, he does too. Everybody can vouch, right? Everybody can vouch for Felix. Yeah. You look at
a friendly name.
Hmm?
It's such a friendly name, Felix, and it eats people's faces.
Name when we adopted him.
Oh.
He came with it. He left it, and he looks very. Oh, what a sweet-looking dog! And meanwhile, if I look at him,
So you would have named him Cujo if you had the choice, then.
Absolutely. But then I'd be afraid that he'd go after me, and I'd be like, I'm not happy. Because sometimes he'll look at me if I'm walking in the woods with him. He'll look at me and there's something in his eye, and I'm thinking, oh no, it's Cujo. No. My dog is he's just gonna jump up and attack me. And woman found mauled in woods. No.
With old sweater from part 2 of Friday. So I know we've kept you on way longer than we said now. I feel horrible, but I was Tim before we came back on. I was like thanking her so immensely because for all that. She literally gave us like 4 hours this week, I think.
No, I can't thank you enough. Our listeners are going to absolutely be thrilled with this.
Yes.
They're going to absolutely love it.
Oh, I'm so glad. Listen, I'm just really glad to do it. And like I said, I'm just really excited about this. And thank you for inviting me. You guys are so much fun and you're so knowledgeable about all this stuff. You guys should write a book. It's amazing.
Well, we all film reviewers after all now, so we're not film historians yet, though. We've discussed that at length. We're not historians.
You got to work your way up to that.
But yeah, no, definitely we'll keep in touch through all the different things, and I'll and stuff like that, because we'll definitely, because I'd love to set up that like commentary thing where we watch the movie and just record all our commentary, because that would be way too amazing, I think. So
yeah, it would be a lot of fun, and maybe we can do it live with people too. I don't know if they do
that. Would be cool. Yeah,
they do watch parties. I was, I'm trying to figure out though, if other than Netflix, if there's a way to do it without Netflix. That's the thing. I don't know.
Hulu does that now too.
They do, but I don't know if they have Friday the 13th.
I'll ask around here. Some of the people who are under the age of 40 around might know.
Yeah, we have to figure out.
Can we hire her as like a tech advisor?
Are you a tech advisor?
She's a social media advisor.
She's a social media advisor.
Actually, that's what we really need. My brother kind of does that for a living, but like he doesn't like horror movies, so he just keeps making fun of our stuff. So, but anyway, I'm sorry. We'll keep you long, but thank you so much again. Like we can't even like. I know we said it 100 times, but that it really means the world to us that you came on and everything and spent so much time.
It was nice to meet you. I'm so excited I got to join in on it.
So am I. It's such a treat. It's so great. We were talking the other day about how we've seen the same like 7 or 8 people for a few months now, and it's like, wait, that's somebody new. Oh my
God. They exist. Because it told one quick story before then, before I really let you go. I know because the RAM, but it was so funny when after the first couple of weeks when we literally where everyone was staying really, really inside. I still remember when I would look out the window and I see somebody, I'm like, oh, it's a person, and my wife would go like, yeah, and I'm like, they're not supposed to be there. It's like, who said they could be outside? But I don't know. That's just the neurotic New Yorker in me, I guess.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
You said that very much like Woody Allen, the neurotic New Yorker.
I did. Well, I got more to say, I think. So.
No, Sue's going to say it too. We're like, do you remember places?
Yeah.
Do you remember a place?
Remember those restaurants when you could go in,
That's what we've been saying. We just want to hear people say, oh, can I take your drink order? We also have specials.
Yes. One of my favorite memes was the one with Forrest Gump, and it says when the bars reopen, and it shows him when he's got his arms going and he's like running down the driveway. And I was like, that's 100% me.
For real. All right, guys.
Yeah, I know. Lauren's like, okay, that's it. I'm taking control.
I know. I feel like we're going to run out of time again.
Yeah.
So.
No, we are. Actually, it is 5 minutes left again. I can't believe it. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll talk to you soon, and we'll be in contact.
All right, lovies. Thank you.
Stay safe.
Bye. Nice meeting you.
Bye. Nice meeting you.
See you soon.
Bye.
Okay, goodbye.
Bye.